Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Back of the Class. We have officially rebranded from the Back of the Class to just Back of the Class. We both feel like it flows better with the name of the podcast. I'm your host, Jason Aiello, and I'm here with my co-host, John Pattison. And today's recording date is Friday, October 15th, 2021, and this is episode 6. So without further ado, John, how are you doing today?
John is doing pretty good today. I did the Halloween 1978 and the Halloween 2018 double feature today because I'm watching Halloween Kills tomorrow. Because to all the listeners, as Jason said, we record these really fucking far in advance. So Halloween Kills just released today as of the time of recording this. I'm acting on a film tomorrow. And yeah, life's pretty good right now.
Oh, what are you going to be acting as tomorrow?
I am going to be playing a Marvel fan arguing with a DC fan over what's better. And my major is not acting. It's not something I have a desire to do, but we had a dialogue shoot assignment and I read the dialogue for this kid. And then I did so good that he just gave me the role. So I'm acting in the full film.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Maybe that's like your hidden talent. I've heard stranger stories of people accidentally getting into certain aspects of show business. Like you ever hear of like people who wanted to be musicians, but then they actually ended up becoming actors. I'm assuming you know who Killian Murphy is.
Yeah. I love Killian Murphy.
Yeah, he actually started off in a band. He was actually
Really?
trying to be a musician first before he just kind of came upon acting, and he started out with theater acting before
Huh.
he was doing movie acting. Which, before we get into the questions, the last time I think in the last episode 5, we spaced these episodes out so far. Sometimes it's hard to remember sometimes it's hard for me to remember what we were talking about last time. I'm pretty sure you asked me about what TV shows I was watching at the moment and what recommendations I had, and I recommended to you Peaky Blinders. I forgot to mention, but you may have known this, but Killian Murphy's the main actor in that show,
Yeah.
and he does like a really, really amazing job, and I think that show is dope as fuck. Um, but yeah, so yeah, maybe the acting. I will say though, it's like acting is pretty damn hard. It's one of those things where like it's all you can't wing it. Like you're either good or you're not.
Yeah.
No, you can't like there's not really an in between. It's either like you know what you're doing or you just don't. Um,
Yeah.
and there's clear cut between amateurs and professionals. But with that being said, yeah, go ahead.
Also, something I've been up to. I told you I've been working on a feature length screenplay for a
Yeah.
while. I finished the fourth draft of it yesterday. Got it to a point I'm really happy with. And the worst part is, I already have sequel ideas. But the first one is in no kind of production. It's literally just a script on my computer, but I already know what I want to do for the sequel. And I'm like, no, I need to stay focused on the first one.
Yeah, yeah. It's sometimes it can be hard to not get ahead of yourself, as we speak, actually, episode 3.5 is exporting on my computer. I fell behind this week, but as long as I get this uploaded soon, we're still going to be on schedule. And for the viewers listening, from now on, our schedule is going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the uploads. Sundays just doesn't work for me to sit down and edit this podcast. Too busy on the weekends. But with that being said, it is an even numbered episode, which means it's my turn to ask the question first. Florence Pugh, I don't know how to say her last name. Florence Pugh or Daisy Ridley?
You fucker.
Yep, I would get you with this one. As soon as I came across a video of her eating a Scottish egg, and I was like, "Oh, that's the one."
Were you watching the Florence Pugh mukbang where she like eats like 11 dishes or something and
Yeah, where she
does
eats
an
all the.
interview? I would bring it down to an accent thing, but they're both British.
Yeah,
So like you can't really narrow it down that way. I hate you so much. When you said it was a good one, I didn't think it would be like this.
and it's different from the Emily Blunt one because like they're both close in age, and I feel like they're closer in like recognition and acting ability.
I'm gonna go Daisy.
You're gonna go
I'm,
Daisy
I'm gonna stick.
Ford.
I'm gonna stick with Daisy Ridley.
So is this for both the looks and the acting?
In terms of acting, I give it to Florence Pugh.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
been
I also like. Here's the thing. I didn't even narrow this one down from looks or acting. At some point, I was like, I just need to pull the trigger on one
yeah,
because both at the same time is not an option.
yeah. So
So
that's been a consistent theme in this question is that Daisy usually wins the looks. I don't, but she usually loses in the acting department,
mm.
which is
not to say that she's a bad actress. It's just you always put her up against like one of the best actresses.
yeah. I don't.
Although I will say, if it came down for the Emma Watson Daisy Ridley one, in terms of acting, Daisy Ridley would win that.
Okay.
Have you seen the interview? It's so funny. It's like a 12-second clip of Emma Watson talking about how she had to do an American accent and she did like all this prep and really worked hard to make it as perfect as it could be, and it fucking sucks.
I mean, I really basically went through every single word in that script and tried to make sure it was all perfect.
I want to say how much I value what you've done for my family.
But like this Daisy Ridley question for the listeners at home, it's much harder to find equals out of her contemporaries. It's a more difficult question to do research for than you would think. But with that being said, what's your first question for me, John?
Okay. It might have been last episode before that, can't remember, but at some point I asked what your worst theater experience was.
Yes.
So I think it's only natural that now I ask what your best theater experience was.
Best theater experience. Well, I remember when I was in middle school, I cannot remember the name of the movie, but this was one of the only times when I went with all of my friends to the movie theater and we all snuck in. We didn't pay. We were doing a typical suburban crime of sneaking into the movie theater. And this was before like when like this was kind of in the era where they were transitioning between like using a lot of technology in movie theaters and having the more traditional style. So like it's not like today where an usher would have immediately spotted us and asked us to leave. It was basically what I'm trying to say is that it was easier to sneak into a movie back then. Seventh grade, we all snuck into this movie, had a grand old time. We laughed our asses off.
You know what movie it was?
I couldn't tell you. Can't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure I brought this up before, but I also another good movie theater experience I had was when I ate this thing called the Bavarian steering wheel. It was like this huge pretzel that AMC had for a limited time. And that was actually when I saw Endgame, and then I fell asleep about an hour into it. And so I still don't know what happens in Endgame, and I'm too stupid to understand it. So no one will ever spoil Endgame for me until I see it, and I'm very proud of that achievement. I still don't really know what happens in that movie. So it's been over 2 years, and I still haven't seen Endgame, and I'm very proud of that.
Hot damn. It's on Disney Plus.
I don't have any streaming services. Oh,
Uh,
here's another good TV suggestion for you. Have you ever seen the show You?
no.
Okay, very good show. The third season just dropped. It's about this psychopath who kills people, but he's like a very normal guy, though. Yeah,
Okay, I have a question for you. If you don't have any streaming services, how are you watching the Clone Wars?
through 123movies.com.
A
Yeah,
man of culture.
yeah. The best streaming service. I've been let down by friends, family, by society. I have never been let down by 123movies.com.
The two sites that'll always be there for you through thick and thin is 123movies and Pornhub.com.
Yes. So my next question for you is, do you have scoliosis?
The fuck is that?
I kind of know the general gist, but I don't want to like be super misinformative about it. Okay, scoliosis is a sideways curvature of the spine that is most often diagnosed in adolescence.
Oh, mine's probably a bit I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's not what you told me in one of my dreams earlier this week. We were having a conversation in my
This
dream.
is in one of your dreams?
Yeah, in one of your
I
dreams.
know what my next question's gonna be.
Okay, we were having like we were having a long ass conversation in this dream, and then out of nowhere, you're just like, Jason, I have scoliosis.
So is it like where your spine is like this from like slouching?
No,
Or
it's like significant curving. It
oh,
yeah.
I don't have that to my
Okay.
knowledge.
Yeah, because in the dream, like it was like you sat me down like a dad getting ice cream with his kid, and then
I
you
was giving you the talk.
yeah, and then like you were like, Jason, I have scoliosis, and then instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, John. Like I remember for the rest of the dream, like I was like, holy shit, do I have scoliosis? I was like, I better not. Like I was like, that's terrible. Like I was like, I don't want to be like John. I don't want to have scoliosis. So yeah, that was one of the most vivid dreams I've had. Um,
Dude,
yeah.
here's the thing is because my next question you might have just answered by talking about a dream.
Okay.
Because my next question is what was your weirdest dream? And I ask this mainly so that the lovely viewers at home can hear my response
Okay. Yeah.
to this question.
Um,
So
yeah, I've heard John's weirdest dream for a while now, but I'll tell you guys a weird dream that I had recently. Was when, well, just as I always say when I get into these stories, there's actually two of them I'll share. My stories always come in pairs. So I had a dream last week that there was this guy, and but he was secretly an alien, and I had a super buff bodyguard with me. And this guy he was human, but he was sorry. I'm getting things jumbled here. So there's three characters in this story: me, my bodyguard, and the shape shifting alien. The shape shifting alien can pretend to look like a human, but he's really an alien. But I discovered that he was an alien because this guy was following us, and my security guard, he turned around and he punched this guy into the fucking concrete like a superhero, and then his face started turning into a lizard, and then he was just like, see, he's an alien. I tell you, they always hide this so well. I'm just I'm just thinking, I'm just like, dude, like, how are you not freaking out right now? Like, we just discovered alien life. Like, why are you talking about like this is like a homeless person following us or something? And then, anyways, the alien keeps getting up, and my security guard keeps punching this guy back into the concrete just to show me. And he's like, he's pretending to be a human, but he's really an alien. I was like, dude, I get it. Like, I was like, stop it. Like he's not hurting us. Like, I was like, so what if he's an alien? It doesn't matter. And I remember he beat the shit out of this guy. He beat not a guy. He beat the shit out of this alien so badly. I was like, this is like this has got to be a crime against aliens or something. The other weird dream I had was earlier this summer. It was back at the beginning of September. I had a dream that a girl that I knew from high school, this was actually the scariest dream I've ever had. This girl that I sat next to in my anthropology class, someone who I was cool with, it was only me and her in the dream. And in this dream, I'm walking into like an L-shaped hardware room. Like kind of like one of those hardware garages where like they have like a bunch of tools hung up on each wall. And and I remember that I'm following this girl into this L-shaped hardware garage, and I'm trying to talk to her, but she won't respond to me. Her name is Sophia. So I'm like, Sophia. Hey, do we still need to do this? Like, we had some tasks to do, and I was trying to get her attention, but she wasn't listening to me. And I was like, oh, this is weird as fuck. And then I start to get a really bad vibe. And then she turns the corner, so she went into the other part of the L-shaped room that we're in, and she's standing at this workbench. And then I get a really bad vibe because she wasn't listening to me. So I don't completely turn the corner, and I'm just standing there, and I'm like, Sophia, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And then she turns around, and I find out she's fucking undead, like just pale in the face, like not like a zombie. And she stares me down. And in this dream, I was so scared that I tried to scream, but I couldn't. and that just scared me more in the dream that I couldn't scream, and then I woke up. So that was definitely the most vivid and scary dream I ever had. And the actual, I'm pretty sure the science behind that is that you can't move when you're in your sleep, right? So that's why.
Yeah, you kind of go paralyzed for a bit.
Yeah. So that's one of the only times in my life where like I've woken up in the middle of the night and been like, holy shit, I'm so glad that dream is over. Okay, so I already know your dream, so I'm just gonna let you just entertain the masses with this.
Okay, so this comes with a few disclaimers. First off, if you're driving, I feel sorry for you. If you have a massive crush on Zendaya, get a load of this, and please post this clip on Twitter and tag Tom Holland. I feel like that might be the play. Anyway, let's get into this. So, I was having this dream where I was in my high school math class and the desks were kind of aligned like this. Like it was a U with like straight corners instead of a curve. And the class was populated with like people who I knew when I was younger. It wasn't people from the actual class, not people I know now. It was people from like elementary school and middle school that I knew populating this class. And Zendaya was also in this class. She was the only person who was not like part of the like group. So she was in it, and this was kind of a law of the dream that was never explicitly stated by anyone in the dream, but existed in the world, and that's that this is a world where just walking around buck-ass nude is normal. Like, no one will look at you funny if you do that. But what was even funnier is that in this classroom, basically everyone had their clothes on, even though there's a world where it's okay to be naked. Everyone except Zendaya. So, Zendaya was on the side room closest to where the teacher's desk is, and I was on the side closest to the door, and I had asked her if she could get up and grab the stapler for me, and she said sure thing. And when she stood up, the only thing that I saw, and the only thing everyone else in the class saw, was just a massive hairy penis that she had hanging off of her. In my dream world, Zendaya is a guy, not only a guy, like a packing guy, right? And the worst part is that this dream didn't even have any redeeming factors. There wasn't even like a shot of this dream we got Zendaya with tits. Nothing. It was literally just a massive penis on Zendaya. And I think that definitely takes the cake for my weirdest dream, because I don't know how I possibly could have thought of that when I was dreaming. I also don't know why it had to be Zendaya, and it couldn't just be some random NPC. It had to be like it had to be Zendaya. I don't know. All I know is that you, Jason, got to be there the first time I ever told that story, and you almost crashed your car.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the most unexpected things. I mean, as the more I do this podcast, the more I realize how many unexpected things John says.
Oh god, yeah, shit John says.
But at this time, John was not known for that, so this definitely caught me off guard. And I encouraged John to tell this story to his family when they were at a family dinner, family breakfast. I think that would be a great idea, especially if sausage was on the menu. I think that'd be timely.
Yeah.
But I don't think that anyone wants to hear that, except for anyone who sees this podcast and Tom Holland. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah, tag Tom Holland on it.
Yeah, send this link to Tom Holland. Well,
or just crop out my story and just send that clip to him.
Yes. Okay, I have another. I'm not sure where you stand on this question. It may be another somewhat existential question for you. But out of the 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies, which one is the best?
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Okay.
Yeah, don't even need to think about it. The Dark Knight, the best Batman movie, the best comic book movie, and one of my all-time favorite movies. Do you want to guess the one movie that is better than The Dark Knight in my mind?
Um, out of like superhero movies.
Just in general, like my all-time favorite movies, Dark Knight is number 2. I will give you a guess as to what number 1 is.
Okay, give me a hint.
It's animated,
Um,
and it's a pre-2000s Disney movie.
Iron Giant.
The Lion King
Oh, of course.
is my all-time favorite fucking movie. And it's like, I don't even have it. Like, my teacher asked me, he's like, is there any particulars you love that movie? And I can't think of one. I just love every second of it.
You know, a lot of people cite that as like top 10 movie ever, best animated movie ever. Yeah, that's a good pick. I haven't seen The Lion King in forever, honestly.
It's a movie that I can't watch all the time, though. Like, I only watch it every few years because I don't like watching Mufasa die.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't watch it that often. There's 3 movies I have to emotionally prepare myself to watch. It's The Lion King, Titanic, and Joker. I can't just put those movies in. I have to be like, okay, this is the day we're watching The Lion King. Let's do this. I have to prep myself for those 3 movies and those 3 movies only.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, because I was I've only seen The Dark Knight. No, I haven't seen. I haven't seen. Okay, well, you know, I'm a casual when it comes to superheroes. The Dark Knight is the one with the Joker, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I haven't seen the first and the third in that series. How do you feel about the other 2 movies?
I think it's the best trilogy of all time. I
Okay.
am sorry, Lord of the Rings. Batman beats you on this one. It's great. It has a lot of people consider it to be the best live action Batman. It's got like the best Alfred, the best villains. I mean, Bane is a great villain also, of course, Joker. You get some,
Scarecrow?
yeah, Scarecrow is great too. Uh you get some Catwoman in there, Anne Hathaway looking sexy, riding a motorcycle through Gotham. It's great. I'd say like the one downside of those movies, I mean they have their fair share of plot holes, but I'd say like maybe the one downside is that Gotham isn't that interesting. Like in Batman Begins, Gotham is pretty cool, but then in Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, it's kind of just a normal city.
Yeah.
I'd say that's maybe my one downside to the trilogy, but I don't care because everything else about it is fucking A plus plus.
You know, I think I was talking about this with my mom, and I was just kind of explaining to her that like Christian like that like I think that Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale, they just kind of perfected the Batman formula in their trilogy. I think it's like after seeing how they put together those movies, it's really hard for me to see anyone else's Batman other than
Yeah.
Christian Bale. Like to me, I honestly feel like he was born to be Batman.
Yeah. I think Ben Affleck is a great Batman, though.
Yeah.
I think he is. Controversial, that's a hot take, but I think he's a great Batman.
Yeah.
And damn, I'm excited to see Pattinson.
Oh, the next Batman movie that's coming out. Yeah, I think it's going to be a step forward. I think it's going to be a step forward for the Batman series. But we got to give credit to the genius of Christopher Nolan. I don't think I don't think he's ever made a bad film. He's just one of those directors. Like he
his like when you rank his movies, you don't say worst to best. You say least best to best.
Yeah, he's one of those directors who cares too much about the art and who's too precise with things to make a bad movie.
I'll tell you, the shot when I was little that like scared me to death was when, I mean, you haven't seen Batman Begins, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but Rachel's going up an elevator and the elevator won't go up, and the door opens and Scarecrow's right there and he sprays her with the fear toxin.
Mm-hmm.
When I was little, that scared the shit out of me. I hated that scene so much.
Yeah. Dude, you know,
Also, I watched that trilogy when I was way too little to be watching that trilogy. Like, Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face scared me. The
yeah,
Dark Knight is an insanely dark movie. I was a little guy watching it. I was like 7 years old, and I had the Tumblr, and I would watch The Dark Knight. And like looking back on it, I'm like, that might not have been a great film choice for when I was little.
yeah, that's true. But at least you never had to see 1,000 Ways to Die.
that that is true.
Enough said about that. Oh, what's your third question for me?
Oh shit. What is your like most prized possession? And I know it took me some thinking to think of mine too.
Man, my
So
most prized possession. Well, it would have to be something that like I really. Oh, I mean, obvious answer. My computer.
that doesn't count.
Oh, it doesn't count.
Not like a computer or a phone, like something else
Oh,
that you own that
okay.
yeah.
Maybe something that has more meaning. My most prized possession. This is the mic I'm going to be using until December, but then I will be upgrading. This is definitely my lifeline. It means a lot to me. Rap music means a lot to me. I've made a decent amount of songs with it. All my songs in Florida have been made with this mic, so it means a lot to me. And yeah, I know that this setup is janky, but it will be upgraded at the end of this year. Another possession that I value greatly would be these pair of shoes. I've never seen these anywhere else. I haven't been able to find them online. These are just Nike Air Maxes. When these were cleaner and I would wear them out in public, I'd pretty much guaranteed to get a compliment. But I found those shoes at an outlet, and I've never seen them anywhere else. So yeah, those two possessions, but especially the microphone, definitely mean the most to me.
If you guys have seen previous episodes, you know I got a lot of shit that I really like, so it was hard to narrow it down. But as you know, I'm a big Harry Potter guy, and I have some of the wands, and so any Harry Potter fans will know what's in what this box probably is. It's a purple box. So the best wand in Harry Potter, of course, the Elder Wand, and probably like 7 or 8 years ago at this point, I got it for Christmas, and so this is my Elder Wand, and it's like when I think of like the one thing in my room that I will never get rid of, it's this. I kept it in great condition. And I decided to be a dumbass and let a little kid hold it, and so now it has a small chip right there. But other than that, it's still great, and I just love the design. Like it's got great texturing on it and all that. It's beautiful. And also, any Harry Potter fans who have any of the wands, the boxes they come in are the best things ever because it's like foam padding right there, and then it has like a ribbon that goes over it and a hard case. Like they really put a lot of time and effort into making these, and I love this wand so much. So that would probably be my most prized possession.
I tell you, dude, you give anything to a little kid and they will find a way to break it.
Yep, I hate kids so much.
And that's been another episode of Back of the Class. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to hear the rest of this conversation, stay tuned until next Monday, where we will be releasing episode 6.5. Until then, you can like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. New episodes every Monday, new clips every Wednesday and Friday. This has been another episode of Back of the Class.